Hey everyone, this is Ezekiel. Welcome to Such Online Academy. Today we are going to continue with the Java question and answers. Guys, this is a video on demand. So I have to give this video in time. So guys, I'm not going to do much of coding here, but I'm going to explain the code that I've already done, okay, so that I can cope up with the time, because today my schedule was so busy, so that I didn't find enough time. I didn't get enough time to do this video, guys. So even on editing, I'm not going to spend much of my time on editing, but I'm going to deliver the video with the information that you need. Okay, so guys, if you are new to this channel, just to subscribe just by clicking the red button below. Also, don't forget to turn on the notification bell, so that whenever I upload a new video, you will get notified. Okay, guys, also I have to say thank you guys to those who have already subscribed to my YouTube channel, because we've managed to reach our milestone of 20 subscribers. I'm happy with this, guys. And our next milestone, guys, will be 30 subscribers. So guys, just subscribe so that we can hit our milestone soon. Okay, so I have to say thank you guys for those who have already subscribed to my YouTube channel. So guys, let's continue. Let's dive into our tutorial for today. This is our question, guys, that have been given by a certain student. The question says that write a complete Java program with a static method named CodeBox that accepts as its parameters a string containing an input file name and a real number t, which means, guys, we have to create a method, and this method must have two arguments. Okay, these two arguments, these are two arguments or two parameters, okay, that we have to pass into the method. Okay, so your method should output information about books that have a rating of D or higher. So this real number D, guys, is just a rate of the book. So this method is going to return something. What is it going to return? Okay, it is going to not to return as such, but to output. It is going to print the books which have got the rate of what? Of D or higher, which means our rate is either it is going to be equal to D or greater than D. So rating must be greater than or equal to D, or D here is less than or equal to the rating. Okay, whichever way that you want to express it. Also, the file, let me use this. Also here, guys, the file is comprised of series of lines, each containing information about a different book. Okay, about a different book. The lines are in the format publication date. Okay, the first one is the publication date, and then followed by the rating, and then lastly by the title. For example, this is the example of our file, guys. We've got the file with the what here, with the publication date, and then followed by what? By the rating, and then followed by the what? By the title. This is the title from here up to here. This one is the title. This is our title here, or this one, this is our title. Okay, this is our title. For example, suppose, okay, this is our title. Okay, guys, so when you pass the above file and a D of 6.2, okay, if we have this file and a rating of 6.2, your method would produce the following output. This is the output that we have to produce. If we have this file and then we put 6.2 grade, the output must be like this. This is the output that we have to get from this file, and then you have to produce this output. And also you have to notice that your method must place just one space. This one, guys, this is an important notice here, an important note. Okay, in your title, the resulting title, guys, we must have just one space between these words that constitutes your title. Like here guys, if you see here, we have collected poems, we have got a lot of space here, so we must have just only a single space. Here we have got a lot of space here, we don't need all this, we must have just a single space. Just like here, this is building Java programs, it must be like this. Do we have that? Building Java Java programs? Yes, this one, building Java programs, just like this, not like this one. Okay, this is the kind of output that we must have. No, then here it is also saying that, notice that the output contains the age of the book, not its publication date. Like here guys, we have its publication date. Okay, here this is the publication date, but here we have got its age. Like it have got 113 years, rather than to have the publication date. Here we have the age, so we have to calculate the age. Okay, so how are we going to come up with the age? So you should calculate the date by determining the, I think is calculating the age by determining the difference between the publication date and the current year, 2013, which means guys, our current year that we are going to use is 2013. So if your method passed a D higher than the ratings of all books in the past file, it should output the following: no books found. Okay, what does this mean? It means that if the rating guys is greater than all these ratings that we have in it's like our method must print that no books were found. These are all the requirements of the question. Guys, it is very important to understand the question before you dive into coding. So guys, I'm going to show you everything that I'm going to use to answer this question. Guys, this is the file, the sample file that we have here guys. So I have copied this one and create a text file guys of all this, so that we can use it for testing. And I'm going to show you this one guys. This, if you see this, I've just typed it as it is. Okay, like this one, just like this. Okay, you see here, this one is the one that I have here. Okay, and this is a text file guys. I have used the text file .text extension. Okay, and then after that guys, I'm going to dive into my code and I'm going to explain all this code. So here guys, I've created this code guys, this project with a Java supplementary Java files, and then with the main source file is what is book.java. Okay, so here I've got my public class, the controller class, which is the book here. Okay, and this is my main method here. This is my main method. Then here I've got the scanner object that I've created guys. This one is the scanner object. This is scanner object. I'm going to use it to ask the user to enter some input. Here guys, I'm going to take the input from the user, and I'm going to use this input, because remember that guys, the question was requiring us to write the method here, good books, with the two arguments or two parameters, these parameters. Okay, so this parameter, this one and this one, are the ones that I'm going to initialize, that I'm going to pass, and I'm going to take the input from the user here guys. So I'm going to say enter the input file name, because here guys, if you see here, you see here guys, we must have the, let me see where input file, no, that accepts a parameter string in a input file name. Okay, and then real number D. So you see here guys, I've asked the user to enter the file name here, and then I'll use the scanner object to request the input from the system input. Okay, or from the keyboard or from the user. And then after that, I take the rating, which is the D, our D. Okay, and I store it, that value, into our double D. And after that, I'm going to call or invoking the good books method. Okay, and the good books method is the one that I've created, or that I've declared just outside the main method. This is the main method here. This one, this is the main method. Okay, so just outside the method, the main method, but just inside our public class. Okay, just inside our public class here, just inside our public class, or our main controller class here. That's where I have put my good books method, and it must be the static method here, guys. You must always understand the question here. It's a static method named good books. That's why I have named it good books and also static method. And here two parameters, okay, these ones. And then after that, guys, I have created another scanner object, and I have named this scanner object read file. Why? And I've just initialized it to now, because I'm not yet using it, but I'm going to use it. Okay, here, why should I have, what am I going to use this scanner object for? This scanner object, guys, I'm going to use it to read from file. Like here, we've used the scan object to read from the keyboard. So the same procedure that I was using to read the data from the keyboard, I'm going to use it to read the data from the file, just like we are pretending like we are reading the data from the keyboard, but now we are reading it from the file. Then we pass it into the scanner object, and then we pass it into our variable so that we can print it outside. We can you can do our subtraction, addition, or what from on the data that we are reading from the file using the scanner object. Okay, so here, guys, here this is the try catch. Why try catch, guys? Because the try and catch block. Why? Because when you read the file, guys, maybe if the file is not found, okay, it is going to throw an exception. Okay, like file is not found. So for that error, guys, we need the catch method so that we can catch that exception. Okay, I'm not going to explain much, to going deeper into exception handling, guys. I'm going to do a separate tutorial about exceptions. Okay, but this is what we have to do, guys. So here I've said the read file must be equal to new scan object. Here I'm creating the new scan object, and I'm initializing it to this scan object that we already have. Okay, you can just declare it here and then initialize it here, but because I want to use it just outside the try block, though the best way of doing this, guys, is just to nest all the code that I have down here inside the what, inside the try catch block. But sorry for that, guys, I didn't have enough time just to prepare this, but it is just good as it is. Okay, here, guys, we are going to open a file and read the data from this file name. Okay, that's here. So the name that we are going to put here is the one that which is going to come here, and then we are going to open that file and read it into the scan object read file. After this data, this one is executed, then in read file we are going to have all the data from the what, from the file. And then this line, we don't need this line, guys. I was using it just for testing. Okay, just for testing, not testing as such, but for debugging. Okay, I was using it to debug my code. So here, guys, this is the catch block. After the catch block, guys, I've managed to read from a file. This command, I think it was misplaced. It must be here when I have opened the file and read from file. And then now, guys, here I'm just trying to manipulate the data that I will be having from the file. So here is like I've declared this variable. I'm going to explain what I'm going to use it for, and then this is the read file dot has next method. I'm going to loop, guys, through the data that I have read from the file. Okay, so how am I going to loop? I'm going to use the has next method. This has next method, what does it do, guys? This has next method, it tests that if the read file, our object here, read file, or our scan object read file, if it does have a non-blank character space. Okay, then if it have that thing, then it will keep looping this what, this while loop, and then whenever this one became false, this next method, then it will exit the what, the while loop. Okay, so it's like here, let me explain here our is method. How does it work? Because if we read this file, guys, at once, we are going to contain this data in our read file object, and then if in our read file there is something which is not a blank space, like if there is still a 1900 or any data which is inside our read file but which is not a non-blank space, okay, which means it contains something, so it will keep looping the while loop, okay, until we have just a non-blank, until we have just a blank space or nothing in the read file, then it will exit the what, the while loop. Okay, I think it is understood there. So what are we going to do here? We are here, guys. Here, what are we going to do? Here I've created the title, string title, because I'm going to store the title inside this variable. Also string temporal title, I'm going to use it, this one for string concatenating, I'm going to explain. Then string temp must be initialized to read file dot next line. Why? Here, guys, I'm assigning the title, no, is it the title? Assigning a line from, alright, so I'm sorry. Here, guys, I'm taking the next line. Okay, it's a read file dot next line. I'm taking the first line, okay, and then I'm assigning it into the temporal variable. This is the temporal variable that we have. I'm going to assign the first line. Like if we read from this file, guys, this first line is the one that I'm going to take using this method, dot next line, read file dot next line. I'm going to take the first line here, which is the first line that we are going to take, and then this line I'm going to initialize it into the temporal variable. So in this variable, let's assume that we have this whole line, and after that, guys, here, guys, I'm created another new scanner object, which I'm going to name it SC or scanner. Okay, and then I'm going to pass this temporal variable, so which means I'm going to pass this line again inside another new scanner object, so that I can break that line, okay, using the next integer, the next method. Okay, so here, guys, you see that I've put this line here, I've passed this line inside this object. Then here I'm saying I'm creating an integer variable here, which I'm going to initialize the publication date. Okay, the publication date, this is where I'm going to store my publication date. So I'm going to say scanner or sc dot next integer. I'm going to take the next integer. Which one is our next integer? This one here is the one that we are going to take the publication date here, and then I'm going to initialize into here, and here when I say sc dot next double, which means when I say next integer, it will take this, okay, from the read file, okay, and from the source, from the scanner object, and then here it will come here on the next double, it will take this value, and then you will be left only on that line with this title, okay, with this string, okay, after that. So here, guys, I have taken my rating, and then I'll store it into what, into the rating variable, and then I only left with the title, and this is what I'm going to loop so that I can concatenate, I can remove all the what, all the space, okay, so that I can leave just one single space. I think guys, maybe it might be a easier method, it might be there an easier method to use, just to trim out the space, and then you insert each and the blank space on what, between the words that constitute your what, your title. But I found it so much easier just to take the main string or the main contents of this object, of the scanner object, and then I'll use the his next method again just to loop that the remained data into the scanner object. Then I will store it like here, scanner dot next. Then I store it into a temporal title variable, and then here I'll say the title variable here that we have, it have got nothing at the start. Then I'm going to say title with nothing plus a certain space, just a single space. Then I'll put the temporal title, which means here guys, I'm going to take, like here, I'm going to take the here, and then I'm going to edit here with this this one and this space and this one, okay, and then I'll store it to title. Okay, this is my first loop. On my second loop guys, I'm going to take here wizard, okay, because when I say next, it will ignore all this space and then it will take this one. Then I'm going to say here we already have the here, so this title is the. Then we are going to say the plus space plus temporal title, which is our temporal title is the one which have got what, which have got the wizard. Then we are going to add wizard, then it will become a new string in title, and we initialize it to title, so it will become the wizard but with only one single space here. And then also it will loop the while loop again, and then it will take off, okay, it will then take off. This off is going to be added also at the end. I'm going to append it at the end of the at the end of this title string, but also I'm going to include just a single space guys. Then this is how is it going to this is how are we going to manage this point guys, which need us to here. I think here, notice that your method must place just one space between each word in the title. This is how I managed to handle that guys here. And then here guys, this one guys, I'm going to calculate the what, the age of the book here. That's where I'm calculating the age of the book here. It says that note that the output contains the age of the book, not its publication date. You should calculate the date by determining the difference between the publication date and the current year 2013. You see here guys, so I'm going to say when if our rating is less than, if our rating, okay, this rating D is from the user, okay, 6.2, this one rating from the user, maybe it's 6.2 or any rating from the user, okay, is less than or equal to that one from the file. Or else I'm saying if the rating for this one is greater than or equal to this one, like here that it says when passed the above file and this one, your method would produce no, I need stay somewhere. When it is just stated, your method should output file outbooks information about books that have a rating of D or higher, okay. So if our rating is greater than, is equal to D, greater than or equal to D, okay. So this is what I'm saying here. If our rating is greater than, if our rating is greater than or equal to D, okay, whichever way that you want to take it, or D less than or equal to rating, okay. So let's print out those books with the rating which is greater than or equal to what, D, okay. So I'm saying here, this one which is this here is the value that we have already taken here from the file, okay, that we have already read from the file. And then I'm saying current year 2013 minus the publication date, then we get the age, okay. So this age is the one that we are going to what? Is the one that we are going to print. Okay, so I'm going to say I'm going to print the title here. Then I'm going to put a comma, and then I'm going to put its age, and then I'll append years old, just like this, like our output here, guys. We have got the title here, The Wizard of Oz, 113 years old. That's why I have put here title and then a comma just after the title, and then a space, and then I'll put the age. Okay, and then I'll put years old. This is what I've done here: title, then comma, space, and then age, which is year here, and then I'll put just a space, and then years old. Okay, then here I've set test is equal to 1. Why test is equal to 1 here, guys? Because if you look here, guys, if test is equal to 0, so which means if the value of test is flipped to 1, it means that we have some books that we have read from the file, okay, which have got the rating which is greater than or equal to D. But if that value of test remain equal to 0, which means we didn't execute this if, okay, block, which means we are going to say there are no books, guys, okay, that we have read from the file with the rating greater than or equal to G, greater than or equal to D. Okay, so here after reading from a file, normally you have to close your file, though you can leave it for the JV to handle that one, to close your file, but normally it is good to close your file, okay, after opening and reading from a file. Okay, here I'm going to print no books. So here I have to test this code, guys. I think that's all that you need about this question. Okay, here I was saying you can take some of this piece of code here, even this one, you can insert it just here, just below this one. Also, you can take this code and then put it just inside the try catch, okay, inside the try here, the try block. They need to execute this. If it throws an exception, it will goes in here. Okay, then guys, let me run this. I'll show you how do you insert a file name. I'm going to put it the full URL, the full let me come here. I'm going to my file, guys, it is in here, input file.txt. so I'm going to copy this one, so that I need this, guys, from C drive, then to learn Java, okay, then to input file.txt. So here I have to put this. Then if you are using a backslash, you only use just a single back slash. If you're using a forward slash, you have to put a double slash, just like this. If you're using a forward slash, okay, then it's input dot input file dot txt. Okay, let me close this file. Okay, and then let me say, then I'm going to put 6.2 just as it is, like from, and then here, guys, you see that we have managed to get this output. If you compare this output with the output from the question, our sample output here, you see that it is just the same. Okay, the Wizard of Oz, 113 years old, here 113 years old, and then the Hungry Caterpillar, 66 years old. If you come here, the Hungry Caterpillar, so what, 66 years old. Why 66 years old? And here 44 years old. Okay, let me try to confirm with the other. Here 32 years, here it's okay, it's true. 0 years old, yes, 0 years old, and here 1 years old, 1 years old. So why this one 66? I think here there is an error here on where there is 44 years. Just come here, 1969, This is the publication date, so it's 2013 minus 1969. Then here it's 44, but you have to say 13. It's 2013 2013. Then it's actually 13 minus 9, which is 13 minus 9, which is 4. Yes, and then 66. Yeah, I think so, which means my value from here is the one which is not. Yes, here I've got 1947 here. That's why I'm getting 66 here. We have different value. Okay, that's a typing error. So guys, I have to say thank you guys for watching this video. Guys, if you like this video, guys, let me know in the comment section, guys. If you feel that I have to improve on a certain way that you think I have to improve, guys, just put in the comment section. That's the importance of the comment section, so that I'll know where I have to improve, guys. So if you like this video, also guys, don't forget to subscribe to this channel, guys. Just subscribe to this channel and turn on the notification bell, so that whenever I upload a new video, you'll get a notification from this channel, guys. Also guys, I'm going to do videos just on a weekly basis, guys, for you guys, so that I'll keep engaging with you. If you have any question that you think I have to do for you, or that you think you need help, just put it on my email, guys, which is popping up on the screen, guys. And that's the only way that you can get in touch with me. Also, you can use my Facebook group, search Online Academy. You find it on our Facebook. Okay, so I have to say thank you guys for watching this video.